Hey, Mark Lewis here from Mark's Money Secrets, and today we're going to be talking about the absolute worst states in which to incorporate. States that are going to cost us in terms of taxes, asset protection liability, lawsuits, and worse, my least favorite of all, they're going to take your stuff when you die, whether you like it or not, unless you've incorporated correctly. Worse, there also might be business laws that make it really difficult for you to do your taxes and do your business and make profits and keep them. There are also states that hate crypto, that have terrible Secretary of States, that are wildly expensive, not just from a tax perspective. In fact, one state in this list, it's over $1,000 every year to set up a single LLC, and that's not a flat tax. That's just the right to set up an LLC. We want to cover this so that if you have to incorporate in one of these states, as some of you may, you know the full story. And worse, there are some states that, well, we thought they'd be good states. We've been told they're good states, but in fact, for certain companies, they might be the absolute worst states in which to incorporate you could imagine. Let's roll. Well, before we say which states are the worst states in which to incorporate, we should probably figure out what are the characteristics that matter most to us. And we talked about this in the best state video, and that's non-charging, meaning you get some benefits from a lawsuit perspective. Are they taxed states? Do they report and squeal on you as to who's in your company? Do they have a good Secretary of State that's responsive and not lugged back by 6 weeks of potential filings? Are they allowing series LLCs? In other words, you have multiple LLCs that you want to own each other in a series. Can they do that? Are they crypto friendly? Are they cheap to incorporate in? And do they have friendly labor laws? For those of you who have an S corporation where you have a requirement to be a W-2 payment, go to the shareholders, or you just have employees in general. You know, some states like Wyoming, although are really great in many other areas, the unemployment insurance is not so great. Whereas you would think in a state like a big, deep blue state like California that it'd be worse on that, but no, it's actually one of the best unemployment insurance rates that we all have to pay as employers in the nation. So speaking of California, the number one worst state in which to incorporate is California, as far as I'm concerned. It is incredibly expensive with an $800 minimum tax that's applied to you, plus the incorporation fees in the state. Whether you make money or not, that $800 tax is applied, and many states have a kind of a prefix tax that goes with you whether you make money or not. My own home state of Tennessee has a $150 company tax that's kind of ugly, especially if you have 10 companies in the state of Tennessee. That's $1,500 you're shelling out for no good reason. Then charging states. California is a charging state. In fact, probably one of the most litigious states in the union where you're going to get sued for any good reason at all. And there's no state benefits for incorporating in the state of California therein. Then series LLCs. Although you could have an LLC in California that's owned by another LLC out of state, you sure can't have them in a row in this ugly state, which, by the way, is a community property state if you're trying to get married there, which means that whatever you had before ain't yours no more. It's a part of the marriage. Now, I will say that it has a reasonably good Secretary of State. It's huge if you've ever been there in Sacramento, massive and a beautiful building because there's so many doggone people in California. But it's a reporting state. They're going to squeal on you as to who's in it all day, every day. And the labor laws in California are probably the worst in the nation. Not to mention the company taxes. If you're in the city of Los Angeles, they're going to tax you on your gross. It's called the City of LA tax, and nothing could be more unconstitutional. Now, I do like Texas, but not in which to incorporate. Probably the worst Secretary of State in the union. It's a tax state, again, with a flat tax for every particular company that's going to register there. It's not particularly cheap to register there either. And although you can do series LLCs in Texas, it's a reporting state. The labor laws are okay, but generally that Secretary of State is bad enough to make me not want to go there. Then Hawaii's kind of generally bad, not so bad. You could do series LLCs. The Secretary of State's okay. You know, the labor laws aren't too bad, but everything else is gross. Reporting, charging, horrible taxes. It's not the greatest. And in the world of corporate and company laws, it definitely doesn't want to help out companies do business there. And last but not least is New Jersey, which has a horrific 4-figure number to set up an LLC year after year. That doesn't go to your taxes. It's just a brutal number that you have to pay for the privilege of having an LLC in New Jersey. And of course, it's charging. Now, I'm not talking about New Hampshire. New Hampshire's in the top 6. It's a charging state. It's a tax state. Not a great tax state either. It's a reporting state. not the greatest. Now, if you live in any of these states, there's a strong likelihood, depending on your business, that you're going to have to incorporate something there. Certainly, if you're going to try to get paid through distributions, you're going to have to set up some kind of either a foreign representation of the company that you have out of state or a company directly for you to get paid. And that's going to cost you. You might want to consider moving. Now, I'm not saying that every state on this list should be avoided. Sometimes they can't be. And in fact, depending on your business, some of these states might be advantageous. You just need to know your state law. And especially if we're getting into anything regarding trusts in your corporate structure, some states like California, in fact, are one of the best states to incorporate because California has a powerful regulatory system around trusts. But otherwise, be very careful and be, more importantly, wary about the states that are on this list because they could cost you if you're not careful. Hopefully this has been valuable to you. If so, please subscribe here. And if you would love to have a 10-week customized course about how to set up your entire corporate structure, reach out to us. We have a mastermind where we take a group of folks every 10 weeks through the entire process of incorporation, structures, taxes, bylaws, minutes, contract, compliance, all of it so that you're up and running and know how to do it for the future. Reach out for our mastermind. If you're a DIY kind of person, we've got tons of courses here in the description. You can find that link for our store. And if we don't see you on one of those opportunities, be wealthy.